All right, if you can't tell by now how pumped I am for this Jack Reacher Amazon series, where have you been? Because I feel like I'm putting out videos almost weekly with news about this series. This week we've got 6 more people added to the cast. And while, I'll be honest, I don't recognize a lot of these actors, I'm still excited because just the simple mention of the characters they're going to be playing, and just the fact that I know those characters, that I know who they're talking about, I know who they're going to play, and I know their part in the story, it just makes this, it makes me really excited because not only is this really happening, but it sounds like they're going to do it justice. It sounds like they're really going to adapt the first book and do it right, because they're including all these characters where they could do a very generic version of a Jack Reacher show where they kind of adapted one of the books and it just not be the same. But it seems like they're really going out of their way to make it feel like Lee Child's creation, like that first book is supposed to be, like Killing Floor is meant to be seen on screen. And I couldn't be more excited about this. For one, just Jack Reacher in series form rather than a movie. I think I've always thought that was the only way you could do a Reacher story justice. But just the fact that it seems like they're casting very well, and every bit of news we get makes it more and more real. You know, it's really coming together now, and they've announced these 6 new characters. And since I don't know these actors, I will just read from this article that I found talking about the actors and the characters that they're going to play. Some of the articles I found only talked about the actors. They didn't talk about who they'd be playing in the series, so I specifically chose this one because if you're like me, it's going to make you even more excited. If you are a big fan of the books, especially Killing Floor, you're going to be excited to hear these names. So let's just jump into this article from slashfilm.com. And I'll just read it verbatim because I don't want to miss anything. And honestly, when I try to just skim through it, I'm going to be reading stuff I don't need to. So, all right. Amazon's Jack Reacher series pumps up with 6 more cast members. Kristen Crook is reuniting with her Smallville co-star Alan Ritchson in Amazon's Jack Reacher series, simply titled Reacher. The TV series is set to star Ritchson as the title character, a hulking ex-army investigator who is the protagonist of a series of crime thriller novels by British author Lee Child. And Amazon has bulked up the cast of Reacher with 6 new cast members, including Crook and What We Do in the Shadows breakout star Harvey Gillen. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Deadline reports that Amazon's Jack Reacher series has recruited 6 new actors to its ensemble. Joining the Reacher cast are Kristen Crook from Smallville, Beauty and the Beast, Mark Bendavid from Dark Matter and Good Witch, Willie C. Carpenter from Devious Minds, Brawl in Cell Block 99, Curry Graham from Murder in the First, Harvey Gillen from What We Do in the Shadows, and Maxwell Jenkins from Lost in Space. And these are all characters just for season 1. And I'm so happy to hear that. I'm happy that we know that they're going to do one story here, and then that, you know, when they do, if they do another season, it's going to be an all-new cast, except for Ritchson. All right. They'll be joining Ritchson, who has been cast as the title character of the series based on Child's best-selling novels about an ex-army investigator who investigates suspicious and dangerous situations and looks decidedly not like Tom Cruise. At 6'2" and frequently displaying a rippling physique, Ritchson, who has starred opposite Crook before in Smallville as Arthur Curry / Aquaman, if you didn't know that, now you know that Alan Ritchson once played Aquaman. In addition to Ritchson, they joined previously announced cast members Maria Sten, Bruce McGill, Hugh Thompson, Malcolm Goodwin, Willa Fitzgerald, and Chris Webster, which we've already talked about in a previous video. If you haven't seen that video, please go watch it. It just says something like 6 new cast members for the Jack Reacher series. But how will the rest of the cast members fit in place in the first season of Amazon's Reacher series. Ben David will be playing Hubble, a frazzled accountant living a grander life than he can afford and gets caught up in a business he would never remotely consider. Hubble loves his family and will do whatever is necessary to protect them. This is the guy that Reacher gets locked up with in the prison. So I just love hearing these names. I love hearing these character names. Crook portrays Charlie, happily married to Hubble. So if you remember the book, Crook is playing Hubble's wife. The refined former debutante is living the country club life but is much tougher than she looks. Carpenter has been cast as Mosley, a lifelong resident of Margrave and the town barber. Mosley hates what's going on in Margrave and is happy to help Reacher, advising him on the ins and outs of the small town. If you remember this, Jack Reacher goes into a barbershop and there's two old black guys working in this barbershop and they basically know everything about what's going on in the town. It's fantastic. I'm just picturing this playing out on the screen is so exciting to me. Next, Graham plays Kleiner Sr. So we've already heard about Kleiner Jr. was cast, and that was in the last video that I did about the series. But this is Kleiner Sr. Beloved by the townspeople for his generosity in saving the struggling town of Margrave, this formidable businessman has a very dark side. Gillen, who is probably best known for playing Guillermo on FX's What We Do in the Shadows, is Jasper, Margrave's medical examiner who is suddenly overwhelmed and terrified by multiple murders in his small town. Now, I'm not going to tell you what they end up unveiling, but people who have read the book know what happens at the coroner's office or at the morgue when they're examining one of the dead bodies. They realize who this person is, and it's a major factor in the story. And lastly, Jenkins plays young Reacher, presumably in flashbacks. He learns the life lessons that make Jack Reacher the man he becomes. So this is a really cool addition that I didn't expect, because we've in Killing Floor, Jack thinks back to times with people in his family, notably his brother. And so I guess they're going to be doing that in flashbacks, which is really cool. That is something I didn't even expect to see, and now they're giving it to me. I'm so excited to hear that. So the first season of Reacher is written, executive produced, and showrun by Nick Santora. In addition to Santora, the series executive producer, it's executive produced by Lee Child, Don Granger, Christopher McQuarrie, and Scott Sullivan, with David Ellison and Dana Goldberg from Skydance. Okay, so how cool is this news? I really want to get your guys' opinion on this, because when I read this, I think I got excited in the last one, but I was a little confused by them casting someone that I wasn't exactly sure should be in this story. But this announcement is just making me believe that they're going to do the story justice, that they're actually casting all of these characters and making them important to the story. I could not be more excited about this series, but I want to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Does hearing these character names, are you like me? Do you not really know the actors? Or maybe you do know the actors. Maybe you do. Maybe you're familiar with them. But for me, it was about hearing the characters and hearing that, how they're being described. And it rings true with what I know from the book. But I want to know what you guys think about that. Did it excite you as much as it excites me? I know this video has run a little long, and I really appreciate you sticking around to the end. But please let me know in the comments below what you think. If you're excited for the series, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell, because I will be putting out Reacher content all the time. I do reviews of the novels, of the short stories, novellas, and also I will be breaking down every episode of the series when it starts. So if you're into Jack Reacher, it's not all that I do on this channel. I do a lot of pop culture and entertainment stuff on this channel. That's mostly what I talk about. But I do a lot of Jack Reacher content. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe to the channel. If you do decide to stick around, I try to do this thing daily. I try to put out something daily. It's not always Jack Reacher content. Like I said, it's entertainment, pop culture stuff. But if you're into that, getting something new, fun, random in your feed every day, and you are into Jack Reacher stuff, if you subscribe to the channel, then I will talk to you again tomorrow.